Listen closely. I'm about to tell you something most people don't want to hear, but I'm going to say it anyway because someone has to. You're broke. Not because you don't earn enough money, not because the system is stacked against you, and not because you didn't catch a lucky break. You're broke because you keep spending money on things that are actively keeping you poor. And before you swipe away because the truth stings, let me be clear about something. I built my wealth by understanding one core principle that separates the wealthy from everyone else. Rich people buy assets, poor people buy liabilities, and convince themselves they're assets. It really is that simple, and it really is that harsh. Now, I already know what you're thinking. Here comes another wealthy guy telling me I can't enjoy a cup of coffee. Wrong. This isn't about coffee. This is about 5 specific categories of spending that are quietly destroying your financial future. And I'm going to break every one of them down for you starting right now. But before I do, I need you to take one step. If you're serious about building wealth, if you're exhausted from living paycheck to paycheck, if you want to retire someday instead of working until your body gives out, then hit that subscribe button right now. Join this community. We're building something here. A group of people who understand that money is a tool, not a toy. Let's start with the first thing you need to stop buying immediately. Brand new cars. This one makes people angry, and honestly, I don't care. Buying a new car is one of the worst financial decisions you can make, and I'm going to prove it with simple math. The moment you drive that car off the lot, it loses 20 to 30% of its value. Instantly. Gone. You didn't just buy a car, you set thousands of dollars on fire just for the privilege of that new car smell. Within the first year, you're already down 30%. By year 3, half of what you paid is gone. You're not purchasing transportation, you're buying depreciation wrapped in metal and plastic. But here's what really drives me crazy. People finance these cars. They take out loans at 5, 6, even 7% interest to buy something that's losing value faster than ice cream melts in July. You're paying interest on an item that's actively declining in worth. That's not a mistake. That's financial self-destruction. And don't even get me started on leasing. Leasing is even worse. You're renting a depreciating asset, which means when the lease ends, you own nothing. Zero equity. You handed the dealership thousands of dollars just to borrow their vehicle. Congratulations! You made the dealership owner richer while keeping yourself broke. Now I can already hear the objections. But I need a reliable car. I have kids. I need to get to work. Of course you do. No one is saying you shouldn't have transportation. What you should do is buy a 3-year-old certified pre-owned car. Let someone else absorb the depreciation hit. You get a dependable vehicle, often still under warranty, for nearly half the price. That's not deprivation. That's intelligence. That's how wealthy people think. We're not trying to impress the neighbors. We're trying to build wealth. When I was building my first company, I drove an old beat-up car that barely ran. Did it bruise my ego? Maybe a little. Did it hurt my finances? Not at all. And that's the difference. Poor people spend money to look rich. Rich people spend money to become richer. You have to choose because you can't be both. The car you drive says absolutely nothing about your wealth. The balance in your investment account tells the real story. Every dollar wasted on a brand new car is a dollar that isn't growing in the stock market, isn't earning dividends, and isn't compounding into your future. This is where people make their first major mistake, and it sets the tone for every bad financial decision that follows. They prioritize looking successful over actually being successful. And that brings me to the second thing that's keeping you poor, something even more dangerous because society keeps telling you it's a smart investment. The second thing you need to stop buying is too much house. Now, this is going to upset a lot of people because for generations we've been sold a lie that your home is your biggest asset. That's wrong. Your home is your biggest liability. Let me explain this clearly. An asset puts money into your pocket. A liability pulls money out of your pocket. The house you live in pulls money out of your pocket every single month. Mortgage payments, property taxes, insurance, maintenance, utilities, landscaping, repairs. It's a financial drain, and the larger the house, the deeper that drain becomes. But real estate always goes up in value, people say. Does it? Ask the people who bought in 2007 and watched their home values collapse. Ask the homeowners who are underwater on their mortgages right now. Real estate goes up sometimes in certain markets, if you're fortunate, but even when it does increase in value, you can't access that equity unless you sell the home you're living in or take on more debt by borrowing against it. And let me tell you something important about debt. Debt is a tool that makes rich people richer and poor people poorer. When you borrow money to invest in stocks or build a business, that can be good debt because you're leveraging assets. When you borrow money to buy more house than you need, that's bad debt because you're leveraging a liability. Here's what really frustrates me. People stretch themselves to buy the biggest house a bank says they can afford. The bank approves them for $500,000. So they go out and buy a $500,000 house. That's insanity. The bank does not care about your financial future. The bank wants you buried in debt because debt is how they make money. They are not your financial advisor. They are your creditor, and creditors want you paying them for the next 30 years. That's 30 years of interest flowing directly into their pockets. Do you know what you actually pay for a $500,000 house on a 30-year mortgage? Try over $800,000 once interest is included. You're handing over $300,000 just for the privilege of borrowing money. That's not wealth creation. That's wealth transfer from you to the bank. So here's what you should do instead. Buy half the house the bank says you can afford. If they approve you for $500,000, buy a $250,000 house. I don't care if it's smaller. I don't care if it doesn't have granite countertops or oversized closets. Buy the house you need, not the house you want. Then take the money you're saving every month, the money that would have gone to a larger mortgage, higher property taxes, bigger utility bills, and invest it. Put it in the stock market. Build a portfolio. Buy dividend-paying stocks. Let your money work for you instead of working for the bank. This is a principle wealthy people understand deeply. We live below our means. Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest men on the planet, still lives in the same house he bought decades ago for $31,000. Why? Because he understands that every dollar wasted on unnecessary space is a dollar that can't compound inside an investment portfolio. That's opportunity cost. And opportunity cost is one of the most dangerous enemies of wealth. Now let's move to the third thing that's keeping you poor, and this one is going to sting. Eating out constantly. I'm talking about restaurants, takeout, coffee shops, delivery apps. You're bleeding money on food, and most of you don't even notice it happening. Let me put some numbers in front of you. The average American spends over $3,000 a year eating out. $3,000. Do you know what $3,000 invested every year for 30 years becomes at a 10% return? Over $500,000. You're trading $500,000 in future retirement wealth for convenience and meals you won't even remember tomorrow. And it's usually worse than that because most people aren't spending just $3,000. They're spending $5,000, $6,000, even $7,000 a year. Morning coffee, lunch at work, dinner because you're too tired to cook, weekend brunch, date nights. It adds up faster than you realize. And here's the part that really gets under my skin. People tell me they don't have money to invest, and then I watch them spend $15 on a salad for lunch. You do have the money, you're just spending it on things that vanish instead of things that grow. Now, I'm not saying you should never eat out. I'm saying you should be intentional. Cook at home most of the time. Meal prep on Sundays. Pack your lunch. Make your coffee at home. These aren't sacrifices. They're intelligent financial choices. And when you do eat out, make it meaningful. Make it count. Don't waste money on average chain restaurants simply because you don't feel like cooking. That's not enjoying life. That's being financially careless. Rich people understand the value of a dollar. Poor people believe small expenses don't matter. But small expenses compound into massive expenses, and massive expenses destroy wealth. And that brings us to the fourth thing quietly ruining your financial future. Clothes and accessories you don't need. And I'm not just talking about designer handbags or luxury watches, although those are absolute wealth killers. I'm talking about the constant urge to refresh your wardrobe every season, to chase the latest sneakers, to buy clothes you wear once or twice and then forget about. Your closet is probably packed with items you purchased, wore a handful of times, and now they just sit there collecting dust. That's not a wardrobe. That's a museum of poor financial decisions. Here's the truth about clothes. Nobody is paying as much attention to what you're wearing as you think they are. No one is tracking whether you wore the same shirt twice this week. And the people who judge you based on your clothes aren't people whose opinions should matter to you in the first place. You know what actually impresses me? A growing investment portfolio, an increasing net worth, financial freedom, not 1,000 pairs of shoes that will be out of style in 6 months. But this problem goes deeper than clothing. This is about a mindset of constant consumption. We live in a culture that tells you buying things will make you happy. A new phone every year, a new outfit for every event. Upgrade, replace, repeat. It's a system designed to keep you spending and to keep you broke. The fashion industry and the tech industry have built entire business models around making you feel like what you have isn't good enough. And most people fall for it every single time. Let me tell you how wealthy people operate. We buy quality items that last. We use them until they're truly worn out. We don't chase trends. We don't try to impress strangers. A solid suit, a dependable pair of shoes, a reliable watch. Buy once, buy quality, and move on. Your money has far better places to go than into a corporation's pocket just because they convinced you their product would make you feel valuable. It won't. Your worth has nothing to do with what you wear and everything to do with what you build. Now let's talk about the fifth and final thing that's keeping you poor. And this might be the most dangerous one of all. Subscriptions and memberships you don't use. Gym memberships you never go to. Streaming services you barely watch. Apps with monthly fees. Premium subscriptions for things you could get for free. Magazine subscriptions. Software you don't need. It's like a slow leak in your bank account, dripping $10 here, $15 there, so quietly that you don't notice until the damage is already done. I want you to do something right now. Pull up your bank statement. Look at every recurring charge. How many of them are you actually using? How many are providing real value? I guarantee you're paying for at least 3 to 5 things you completely forgot about. Cancel them today, not tomorrow. Today. This is free money you're handing over to companies that are counting on you being too lazy to cancel. Don't let them win. But there's a bigger issue here. These subscriptions represent a mindset, a belief that you need constant entertainment, constant access, constant stimulation. You don't. What you need is wealth. What you need is investment. What you need is a future. Every dollar going to a subscription you barely use is a dollar that isn't working for you in the market. It isn't compounding. It isn't building your retirement. And when you're 70 years old and can't afford to stop working, you're going to wish you had canceled that streaming service you watch twice a month. So let's bring this all together. Stop buying new cars. Stop buying more house than you need. Stop eating out all the time. Stop buying clothes you don't need. Stop paying for subscriptions you don't use. These 5 behaviors are the difference between staying broke and becoming wealthy. This isn't about how much you earn. I've seen people making $40,000 a year build real wealth because they understood these principles. And I've seen people making $200,000 a year live paycheck to paycheck because they refuse to learn them. The decision is yours. You can keep doing what you're doing and stay exactly where you are. Or you can make uncomfortable choices, cut the waste, and start building real wealth. It's not complicated, it's just uncomfortable. And most people choose comfort over wealth every single time. Don't be most people. Now, if this video opened your eyes, if you're ready to stop making excuses and start making progress, I need you to take action right now. Hit the like button and tell the algorithm this message matters. Leave a comment below and tell me which of these 5 areas you struggle with the most. Be honest, we're all learning. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. But don't stop there. Become a member of this channel. When you do, you're investing in financial education. You're joining a community of people who are serious about building wealth. We're going to keep delivering the truth, the strategies, and the no-nonsense guidance that actually works. Money doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care about your excuses. It only responds to the decisions you make. So make better decisions. Stop buying things that keep you poor. Start building wealth. That's how you win. That's how you get rich. Now get out there and make it happen.